Thank you so much. And now, my dear friends, we have come to that point where we are here into the closing ceremony of the 6th International Conference on Sustainability Education. So, in this closing ceremony, firstly, we are going to have the presentation and adoption of recommendations. And for this, I would like to invite on the stage 2 of the dignitaries, and then one by one, we are going to have their presentation on and adoption of recommendations discourse. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Iraj Barucha on stage. Please put your hands together for him. I request you, sir, to please come on the stage. Dr. Barucha, I think he's outside the auditorium, if we can send a message to him. And also, I request the Executive Director of Water Digest, Ms. Anupama Madhok, to please come on the stage. She is here, so I'll request you to please come on the stage. Let's have a round of applause for her. For the presentation and the adoption of recommendation. Yeah, sure. So the presentation needs to be copied to the console system, and quickly then we can have these dignitaries on the stage. And in this closing ceremony, after this presentation and adoption of recommendation, we are going to have some closing statements from our thought leaders and the partners. Since yesterday we have been listening to the really knowledgeable thought leaders, so they are going to give their closing statements, and then of course we are going to have the concluding remarks as well. And yes, we have got the chief guest of closing ceremony with us, and sir is joining us, Dr. Rajendra Singh, the waterman of India. He's here, so soon we'll be inviting him also on the stage. But firstly, we are going to talk about the presentation and adoption of recommendations, which are the key of this first segment into the closing ceremony. So I request if Dr. Barucha has also come, so I'll request him also to come on the stage. So till that time, we can start with Ms. Anupama Madhok. So you can start with your presentation from from the console. I hope you have got the presentation, so kindly upload. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Anupama Madhok, Executive Director, Water Digest. Please put your hands together for her.
Thank you, Shilpa. So, Dr. Barucha, I hope he would be able to join us. And if not, then definitely a thank to him and all the committee members, including Dr. Nilima, Professor Vinod, Professor Sangeeta Sharma, Dr. Margarita, Dr. Kumudini, and of course, I would like to thank the organizers, especially Dr. Bhuj, Mr. Berman, Mr. Garg, and the Mobius Foundation for giving us an opportunity to be part of this wonderful program, which has been very thoughtfully curated. I'm sure each one of you sitting here or who had been here yesterday and couldn't make it today will agree with me that the entire 2 days had been really a powerful and very enriching, with enriching deliberations across various topics. So here I have taken the onus of quickly sharing the recap of the overall program. So the day started with a wonderful inaugural ceremony with multiple plenary sessions having a track, a technical track as well, and then Samvad. Day 2 glimpses, the wonderful faces, including our torch bearers, the agent of change. So here is a quick one. As you see, it started with the inaugural session. Then the first session was about greening education for a sustainable future, which was focusing on role of academia in transforming education for sustainability. Second plenary was curated for mobilizing green chemistry to beat plastic pollution, as it was called by Dr. Beno, the plastic paradox, the challenges, and the scientific solutions focusing on chemical recycling of plastic, its legal and economic challenges. Plenary 3, advancing circular economy education for a resource-efficient future, emphasizing a resource-efficient future which can be driven by innovative technological interventions and new perspectives of looking at the problem of plastic waste. Plenary 4, new and innovative technologies for sustainability education. The session highlighted cutting-edge educational technologies, talking about AI, large language models like ChatGPT that can be used to support sustainability. Also, there were special highlights wherein we saw the conversion and the place where technology meets tradition. Then, Plenary 5, People of Natural Awards. Nature Awards. That was the forum where honoring of the exceptional individuals was done. That was again the celebration of sustainability. And like I said, there was a technical track integrating STEM, NEP 2020 and STI policy for sustainability education in India. And apart from that, there were 4 Samvad. That was day 1. Followed by day 2, wherein there were 6 plenary and 7 Samvad. The plenary 6, the day started with the Young Minds, Youth Conclave and Youth for Earth Award ceremony. So the Young Minds, they spoke about their thought process, their knowledge, what they are expecting, how they can contribute, and also at the same time felicitating their efforts. Plenary 7, educating for informed family planning choices for a sustainable population and planet, ground realities, achievements and challenges. This particular session explored the connection between informed family planning choices and sustainability. The second part of the same plenary consisted of ground stories from health officials, ASHA workers, teachers, highlighting the successes of highlighting some beautiful successful case studies, like one of that was Baharich village in UP. Then there was another plenary, integrated risk management, education for safety and sustainability, dwelled into the crucial role of addressing risk related to safety and sustainability in education and the urgent need for implementation. Moving ahead, next session, skilling for green careers, highlighting sustainable and high impact sectors. This particular session discussed the importance of equipping the youth with skills necessary for emerging green jobs and sectors. The session also underscored the need for responsible tourism practices that minimize environmental impact and support local communities. Plenary 10, Blue Education for a Sustainable Future, which highlighted the importance of understanding the value of water resources, promoting water conservation and integrating water management knowledge into various disciplines. Fourth, the last one, Green Curriculum, as we had been listening to, the Sesame experience, the session explored practical approaches integrating sustainability into education. Then there were parallel tracks, 7 Samvad. Now, after all this deliberation, we tried compiling the recommendations, the takeaway, the key messages which have come out from all these deliberations. So, like I mentioned, the sessions were curated talking about various important aspects of sustainability education. So there, the very first thing was strengthening environmental literacy. So there is an integration required for an environmental education and literacy into curricula and making it compulsory, the credit-based one at all education levels, and augmenting the existing strategy to ensure a foundational understanding of sustainability principles and system thinking. Second one, promote sustainable lifestyles. Implement initiatives like Project Life to encourage mindful consumption and integrate traditional values with modern sustainability practices. Here, one important point, there had been discussions and there are 3 hours. So it was emphasized that there should be 1 more hour which should come before reduce, and that is refuse. Then comes then hands-on learning projects. Advocate for the handprint approach that emphasizes practical, action-oriented projects to teach sustainability and green job skills, and at the same time making the students the change agents of change, like I said. Then green campuses establish sustainable practices with educational institutions, including net zero initiatives, renewable energy adoption to model environmentally friendly behaviors. Moving ahead, empowering our educators, NAP and NCF exists, on the basis of which we need to build capacities of the teachers at all levels to be able to achieve SDG goals by 2030. Also at the same time providing them effective training on various sustainability topics, as they will be eventually bringing the change in their respective communities, focusing on critical thinking and adaptive learning models. There was a session I said on AI, so digital education expansion, leverage digital platforms to deliver sustainability education to underprivileged areas, expanding reach and impact through initiatives like we saw this Gyan Shakti program. There was a discussion about it. Interdisciplinary collaboration, encourage interdisciplinary approaches in higher education to tackle environmental challenges through a mix of science, policy and societal understanding. Then policy advocacy. I myself come from the same background, outreach and all, so I feel this was again very important point. Support policies that prioritize sustainability in education, ensuring equitable access and integration of environmental goals in the National Education Policy 2020 and NCF 2023, and at the same time also disseminating these policy at the wider and a larger scale. That's again very important part. Then global partnership, strengthen international collaborations, sharing best practices, resources for sustainability education through partnerships with organizations like UNESCO. Youth empowerment, develop programs to train young leaders in climate action and sustainability, engaging them in forums to voice their ideas for a sustainable future, also bringing in adoption of nature-based solutions for climate resilience. Green skills development, bridge the gap between education and industry by incorporating green skills and sustainable practices into educational programs. Traditional knowledge integration, recognize the value of indigenous basic knowledge of the systems in environmental education, embedding it into modern curricula and overall addressing the contemporary challenges. Societal change through education, position education as a proactive force in driving societal change towards sustainability and not merely responding to the industry demands. Another important point which specifically came from Beat the Plastic session, policy and governance for plastic pollution, strengthen policies like extended producer responsibility, EPR, to manage plastic waste and support international treaties targeting plastic pollution. Innovation in green chemistry, invest in R&D for bioplastics and sustainable materials, promoting chemical recycling and local adaptations in waste management technologies. Then business collaboration for recycling, incentivize the businesses to adopt sustainable models for plastic recycling, and also fostering collaborations with academia and government. Then circular economy awareness, educate people on the health impacts of plastic pollution and promote behavioral changes. Product redesign for circular economy, shift to designing products for durability, repairability and recyclability to extend resource life cycle and minimize waste. Shared economy promotion, advocate for models that reduce ownership such as shared and rental services to decrease resource demand and environmental impact. Another very close topic, closer to my heart, empowering women and communities. Yesterday also I had a session on water governance. We are in India Water Week, where I specifically mentioned that there is a need to involve women, empower them and also include them in the overall governance chain. So advocate for model, include women in decision making and support community-based circular economy initiatives that integrate traditional practices. AI in sustainability education, use AI-driven tools for personalized learning and curriculum design, enhancing engagement, scalability of sustainability education. Another two important parts which were discussed in today's sessions: population growth. It has a direct impact on sustainability. So addressing the growing population pressure is crucial for managing resources and maintaining sustainable development. Now, environment, population and energy, they have a dialectical relationship, and they need to be addressed together through the 4A principle: acceptability, accessibility, affordability and accountability. So there has to be a nexus approach for dealing with this particular pointers of environment, population and energy. So with this, I would like to conclude, and thank you so much. There must be many other recommendations which I'm sure the organizer will be coming out with the compendium and bringing about all those pointers which I could not cover. Well, we still tried to kind of cover whatever possibly we could, and that's how it is. Thank you so much once again to the organizer. I'm really grateful to be a part of it, and thank you to all the lovely audience and for your active participation in the overall program. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Anupama. How beautifully you have covered all the sessions that we people have talked about since yesterday in this international conference. So, when we say international, so at that particular time, I can say that it actually feels like same, because in this particular program, like since yesterday, we have been witnessing people from across the globe, and all of them are the thought leaders, and all of them have done a really good brainstorming about the subjects, and we all are ready to bring about a change. So that is the most important thing. So thank you so much, Ms. Anupama, for just summing up everything together for us. Thank you. And now I would like to request Dr. Rambush to please come on the stage for a few of the felicitations. And yes, we'll start with the felicitation of the scientific committee for drafting recommendation. So, sir, may we please have you on the stage? I also request Shri Sarabhai to please join us on the stage for this felicitation. So I'll just quickly take the names of our committee members. Scientific Committee for drafting recommendation: Professor Vinod Sharma, Professor Sangeeta Sharma, and Ms. Anupama Madhok is already there on the stage. So let's have a round of applause for them. I invite you on the stage. And for Academic Policy and Action Advisory Committee, I would like to invite the whole committee over here on the stage: Dr. Suraj K. Tripathi, Dr. Abdesh Gangwar, Dr. A.K. Swar, Professor Suparva Patnaik, and Dr. Tabassum Jamal. Please put your hands together for them. These are two of our committees.
Yeah. You would like to say something? I think whatever Anupama just presented was a hard work of this committee. They sat through every day in the evening, 2 hours, and today also, and really a very good recommendation and report that has come out, and they have sat through many of the sessions. This team, this is a teamwork. Please give them a big hand.
May we please have the mementos on the stage for the felicitation.
And Dr. Iraj Bharucha has just left. He was chairing the session, this committee. Please announce.
Yeah. So that's Professor Vinod Sharma. Professor Sangeeta Sharma. Ms. Anupama Madhok. Dr. Suraj K. Tripathi, Dr. Abdesh Gangwar, Dr. A.K. Swar, Professor Suparva Patnaik, and Dr. Tabassum Jamal. So thank you so much to both of the committees. Maybe please hear it for all of them, please. Let's have a round of applause. Thank you so much. And with this, now we are going to have the closing statements from our thought leaders and the partners. So quickly, with your round of applause, I would like to invite them on the stage together, and then we are going to have a quick closing statement from them. Dr. Harsh Gupta, former Secretary, Government of India. I request you, sir, to please come on the stage. Let's have a round of applause for him. He's going to be the guest of honor for this particular session. Mr. Hem Pandey, retired IAS, former Secretary, Government of India. He is also the guest of honor for this session. I request you also, sir, to please join us on stage. Mr. Hem Pandey, I request you, sir, to please join us on the stage. Dr. Benu Boyer, UNESCO, New Delhi. Welcome, sir, on the dais. Mr. Karthike Sarabhai, Director, CEE. Welcome, sir, on the stage. And also I would like to invite Mr. Aditya Pundi, Director, Climate Reality Project, India and South Asia, New Delhi, India. Please put your hands together for him. And now it's the time for the closing statements from these thought leaders and the partners of 6th ICSE. So to start with, I would request Dr. Harsh Gupta to please make the closing statement.
Can you project this, please? Yeah. So I think we have had a wonderful 2 days conference, and one issue that I need to focus, because we have talked of sustainability, etc. Just about 2 weeks back, I was in Busan, and we had the International Geological Congress, and there one of my colleagues came up with the impact of various disciplines on sustainability development goals. And when we come to geosciences, it accounts for 19%, and there are all the 17 goals, and geosciences, biological sciences, chemical sciences, physical sciences. This is what was expressed. So this slide I'm showing with a request that we should make an effort that in our courses, when we teach science, in science we teach physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, but not geology. So with the result that the best of the students do not know what geology is till they reach a +2 level, and then it becomes very difficult. So this is something which is globally recognized, that for the very existence of this globe, we need to introduce geology at an early stage. That is one statement that I wanted to make. I don't want to go because such a wonderful job is done by Anupama in summarizing everything. But I just want to highlight one more issue. And that issue is that we are in a very precarious situation. Because if one of the earlier earthquakes repeats today, for example, the Kangra earthquake. In 1905, the Kangra earthquake claimed 20,000 human lives. So we did an exercise that what would happen if the Kangra earthquake repeats today. So we place an earthquake of magnitude 8 at the same place where Kangra was, and then there is an approach that you take the isoseismos of the earthquake, on that you put the typology of houses, then you get to know how many houses would be destroyed. And then you put on the top of it the population density, and you get to know how many people will be killed. So if the Kangra earthquake occurs today in the middle of the night, we are talking of Himachal Pradesh and Haryana, Punjab and Union Territory of Chandigarh, because we cannot cover more than those 4 areas. So the idea is this, that if this occurs in the middle of the night, we could lose more than 500,000 human lives. So when this question came, I was worried slightly that maybe the number is too high. But then in 2005, we had the Muzaffarabad earthquake, which was only magnitude 7.6. As I told you earlier in my talk, that when the magnitude goes up by 1, the energy releases 30 times more. So from 7.6 to 8, energy is at least 10 times more. Muzaffarabad earthquake occurred at about 9 o'clock in the morning when everyone is out. And that claimed 87,000 human lives. So a repeat of such an earthquake would be disastrous. There are ways of getting into it is to prepare an earthquake scenario, which we did for this earthquake. And we spent 1 full year in these 4 states to teach people and all the government machinery, everyone involved. And then we had a hypothetical earthquake to see what was the impact of it. This exercise was so successful that we repeated it for the repeat of the 1897 earthquake for the all 8 northeast states. And we had a similar result. So I just want to make you aware, very simple thing that we should do is to observe an earthquake day. An earthquake day reminds us what to do, how to do, and countries like Nepal who observe an earthquake day when the 15th April 2015 earthquake occurred there, which was 1934 earthquake, when they lost much less life than 1934 only because they were observing earthquake day. So this is a small message I want to conclude, but I want to thank all the people who presented their talks and Mobius Foundation and Bush Saab, Ram Bush Saab and Prism Saab, who have done a wonderful job. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And now I would like to request Shri Hem Pandey, former Secretary Government of India, to kindly present the concluding statements. Please put your hands together for him.
Thank you. Good evening, friends. Nice to be back again. Friends on the dais and friends of the dais. I just jotted down Vidya Dadati Vinayam, Vinayat Yati Patratam, Patratvad Dhanam Apnoti, Dhanad Dharma Tatah Sukham. What it means? Knowledge makes one humble. Humility begets worthiness. Worthiness creates wealth. And enrichment leads to right conduct. And right conduct brings contentment. SDG Goal 4 on education has 10 targets, 11 indicators, and I think compliments to Mobius Foundation for taking the challenge. Education, we have to ask whether we are really humble after getting education. You know, my answer is no. Similarly, you know, does our education provides us jobs? Especially in India, I think it's a very far-fetched aim and goal. I think most of us who are, unemployment is a big issue. And talking about ecology, environment, I hate word environment, but because it's a human-centric, Homo sapiens, one species. I love ecology, which is interconnectedness among all life forms. And that is missing in all discourses. And the lady, who compared all the sessions, ultimately talked about how to go forward. What is the challenge ahead? None of us talk about that. And that's why I use the word rainbow washing or green washing. So one day is not enough. It has to come from our childhood. I was just overseas, I was talking to some people in San Francisco the other day, when I saw the vehicles in a queue, everybody is in a queue, red light, nobody is jumping, and blah, blah, blah. So I was just asking one of my colleague who was with me, I said, how did it happen here? How from since childhood, seat belt, helmet, and it's not for the other side, it's for us. So how did it happen? So they said education. We can't think of any other way of jumping the queue or things like that. I think we are just different. As Indians, it puts my head into shame that we are not disciplined. So the charity begins at home. दूसरों की जय से पहले खुद को जय करो. Let's learn ourselves how to behave. Nature will help you. I was fortunate to work in the Environment Ministry, and I am very proud that the tagline of Environment Ministry today, nature protects, if sea is protected, is Kartikeya Bhai, and yours truly was responsible to put it across. And fortunately it has remained, despite efforts to remove it, despite efforts to coin some other. But I was told it's not understandable. It's conditional. Nature protects if sea is protected, and education can bring that change. It's a hell of a difficult task. In fact, during the tea break, Neha Gupta, if she is here, she was asking me, and I think all young youth has this challenge. She said, everybody says it has to be done, it will be done, but nobody is doing it. She wanted to know why is Environment Ministry not doing, why is that ministry is not doing. So I, in a lighter way, I said, go to the one person, the Prime Minister of the country. I mean, because Prime Minister has all the ministries under the control. In a state, go to a Chief Minister. When we used to be district officers, you come to the district magistrate, district collector, So we are supposed to take, but unfortunately, all of us work in silos. You have specialized experts, but putting everybody together, when I was in Environment Ministry, unfortunately that ministry is a clearance ministry. You have to clear things, and after that compliance, zero. Nobody talks about compliance, I will take my clearance order in my pocket and it goes to my cupboard. All of you are there. So these are the challenges. Let's revisit the whole discourse. Otherwise, MDGs, which were for LDCs, became SDGs for all of us, and now I think we'll have a 2100 some DG, some goal, and we will remain the same. So beware, human beings, Homo sapiens, you are finishing this earth. You are finishing the charity begins at home. Humans, beware. Love and respect all the flora and fauna. We have already only named 1.7 million today. When I was listening to the ocean thing, 80% of the species in the world we do not know. Somebody says 100 million, somebody says 1,000 million. We only have named 1.7 million. Named, forget, we are killing them. And so we are the biggest culprits. We will see. So I hope Mobius Foundation's efforts continue 365 days, 24/7. All of you who are champions here, because all of you are here, you understand what we mean. But putting it across to the remaining society is a challenge. So let's take this challenge. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. Barman Saab, Rambu Saab, Kartikeya Bhai, Prabjot Sodhi, who has just entered, he is fighting, he is doing plastic, trying to remove plastic from, but my home state itself, Uttarakhand, has become a dump of plastic. And all mountain states are like that. So unfortunately, we have to be real. And so I was replying to Neha, I said instead of finding one person, do it in small bits. राजेंद्र जी वाटर वाले, वो अपने महाराष्ट्र में, अन्ना हजारे, but पोपट भाई, the name, you can name the villages, the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which is now, I did it in Midnapur in 91, 94, 97, I was collector there. I couldn't complete 14,000 villages there, only about 100 villages. So it's a huge challenge. an unsustainable population that we have, nobody talks about it. India is, mind you, 2.5% of the global geographical area, and we have no business to have 1/5 of the world's population here. Sorry, state of affairs. Thank you so much. All the best. But Neha, small steps will do the trick. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. May I now request Dr. Benu Boer from UNESCO New Delhi to please present his closing statement. Please put your hands together for him.
Thank you. Well, first of all, it was a wonderful 2 days with all of us together. So many, many thanks, and many thanks to Mobius Foundation for allowing this. And I can assure you that UNESCO will continue working with you in the years to come if you still want us. I also want to thank our wonderful Master of Ceremony. She invited our applause all the time, so I think she deserves a round of applause from all of us. I have 6 messages to bring to you in my closing. First of all, the awareness exists, but still needs improvement in schools and universities. We have about 5 to 10 million schools in the world. We need to reach out to all of them to make all of the boys and girls environmental stewards. With that, we can have a massive positive impact that is so badly needed. 1971, when the world energy crisis happened, when the UNESCO biosphere reserves were established, we talked about the same issues like yesterday and today. But now we are 8.1 billion people. At that time, we were only 3.5 billion people. My second message is the issues are known, solutions exist for most of the problems that we have, not for all. We don't have a clue how to get the microplastic or the nanoplastic out of the oceans, but for most other issues we have solutions. So we need to apply them. And I really would like to applaud the 2 ladies from Kashmir who had the award here today. For me, that was the best. They've done wonderful work because it is applicable in industry, the plastic waste as a packaging material. Number 3, more scientific research and monitoring of urban and natural ecosystem is absolutely necessary to detect the desired and undesired changes so that we can take the required action. Number 4, millions of schools have to function as sustainability places to practice sustainability. What I mean with that is schools should be encouraged to harvest rainwater, to recycle grey water, to recycle black water in their school premises, have youth clubs, practice and apply clean energy, school gardens, biodiversity clubs, and waste management. Number 5, I firmly believe that the green economy is the way forward towards sustainability and has to start with green science, then green education, and then the green economy. And finally, governments need to walk the talk. All of the governments. In UNESCO, we have 194 member states, so I'm inviting all of our 194 member states government to walk the talk. But I don't stop there. I think all of us have to do that, including also the United Nations agencies. In UNESCO, we have started to walk the talk, but we are far from finished. So all of the 55, 60 UN agencies that exist, it's really that many, they should also all walk the talk, but all of us have to do that. Finally, I want to quote my new friend, Sunil Shastri, and we will discuss this further over a glass of fermented hops juice after this. Each one of us has to be an agent of change.
That's so true, sir. And now I'll request Director CEE, Mr. Karthike Sarabhai, to please present the closing statement. Please welcome him with your round of claps.
Thank you. It's been a wonderful conference, and I wanted to again congratulate Mobius, Rambuj, Mr. Garg, and all the people who've been working to put this together. I know what it involved to do it. We all were short of time, which is only to say that we have much more to contribute. And I hope that we will be able to hear these voices through the year. The question which was asked to me by Karthik there was, in some ways, why are things not getting better? And we are doing this. Are we failing? Is there a flaw? The point is that in most cases, you have to first slow down that decline. And once you bring it to a stop, then you start rebuilding. In some things, we have done that. Whether it's the tiger or lion population of India. It was 24 lions or something. That's all. And today we have more outside the gear than in the gear, with the community around it supporting them to be there. We have the ozone layer thing which we said. We not only stopped it, but by 2050 it will be mended. So will the others. But I think the point which was made everywhere, and my last speaker also said it, we each need to act, because unlike ozone, you can't stop it by industry. You can only stop it by each and every citizen changing. And where does that change happen? It does start at the school. There are any number of parents who come and said, my child has prevented me from throwing something. The child comes and tells me not to do this. It used to be for smoking, you remember, that it was a child who went to their parents and said, stop smoking. And today you do see much less smoking. I mean, and behavioral change comes, unfortunately, sometimes with the fright. Look at the change which happened because of COVID. I mean, how many people wore masks and how many people did take care? Because there was a panic. The only problem is that environmental, ecological problems are much slower. They seem slower in human time. You know, there are many more deaths happen. It's like saying that if a plane crashed today and 300 people died, it would be front page news. But if road accidents kill 5 times that number in a year, it doesn't make the front page because it is spread over. And it is like going bald or anything else, that you don't lose it all in one day, you lose it slowly. And so it's the human ability not to be able to fathom what is happening. But what has happened over the last few years is that when we thought of climate change and you ask children, they used to draw polar bears in the Arctic or melting glaciers. Now it is not that. Today when you ask children to draw, they draw floods and drought in their own areas. So the coming of home from the Arctic, first it was not there, then it was something which happened in the Arctic, and now it is happening here, and it's not only for India. Europe and countries, you see floods in Europe, it looks like a scene from a developing country. And I think that reality, so nature will hammer it whether you educate it or not. The point is, if you do it through education, you can avoid a whole lot of misery and then do it. In the Bhagavad Gita, I think Krishna tells Arjuna that even if I didn't give you this lecture, you will still get up and fight, because when you do it, but it will much more cost. It is much better to do it through knowledge rather than do it through a negative experience. And it's that knowledge which this is all about. The population issue, I was with Ashok Khosla the other day, and he was talking about this paper, Pradeepji, where they had shown very clearly, they had done a regression analysis on a number of factors on population growth, and what came out right at the top was first women's empowerment and second was women's education. And what they said at that time, which was some years ago, that if the world did nothing but invested in this, you would have 1 less billion people on the planet. You would have had 7 billion now rather than 8. But everyone is scared of talking about population in the environment context, except Pradeepji. And he has consistently not kept it as a separate subject, but right in the heart of this conference, put it as an issue which is intrinsically connected to this. And I think that deserves a round of applause for him for showing the importance of that. Now, while we are slowing things, we want to go over the curve. We want to start seeing that difference. We all hope. The Prime Minister has given a call for 2047 when we should be a developed country. But as was pointed out on that first day, it means Indians will have something like 9 times more income to spend. Now, if we were to not have an alternate development model, that can only be a disaster. and you won't be able to gain even the efficiency of yours. You used to go home, I used to be able to cycle home in Ahmedabad in 20 minutes. Now I have a much bigger vehicle, a faster vehicle, but it takes me 30 minutes. So the fact that your vehicle is better, that makes no sense if the roads are totally clogged. And it makes no sense to have to, I mean, bottled water used to be something which we used to laugh about at one stage, that will there be bottled water? And maybe, hopefully, we will not have the day when we will have another set of bottles here which is purified air. When we hope that we will be able to solve that. But schools is at the center of this. Education is at the center of it. And that is what this conference is stressing. We in India, as was seen today in the session which I was chairing, the last one, have put many of these principles into it. Our educational system is truly going to be outstanding if we can achieve the dreams of NCF. We have to translate it and make it out. But if we can do what we think we are, if we can do what the government is wanting to do, if we can train the millions of teachers, because unless you have the teachers with you, you cannot do it. That is going to be the next major challenge. I think Hem Pandeyji also mentioned this, that unless you have people who can actually do it, you cannot do it. But we wish, Hem Pandeyji, that all bureaucrats are like you, who have never, whether you were in the ministry or not, couldn't care about his rules. He wanted the thing to be done, he would do it. And I think maybe there's a huge lesson there, and continue to be at it like many of us. We will not leave this thing till we actually solve it. Thank you very much.
बहुत shukriya, sir. And now I would like to request Mr. Aditya Pundi, Director, Climate Reality Project India in South Asia, New Delhi, to please present his closing statement. Welcome him with your claps.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you for everyone for today. This was a wonderful conference for 2 days, and I'm really thankful to Burman sir and all the team out of Mobius out here for making it such an excellent show. So a lot of good things have been said, and of course I know 2 days everybody must have really thought about sustainability education, and I really don't know what I can add, especially listening to the panelists out here and their thought processes. But what I would like to talk about, I'll be very brief, I know everybody's getting late, so I'll just, in 2-3 points I'll just speak about. And my first point is that we must keep doing a reality check, because I remember when I joined climate change movement about 10-15 years back, so I was always talking about this will happen in our grandchildren's time. That was my standard presentation, that this will happen another 50 years down, 60 years down, don't worry. It's happening before us now. You can see the temperatures, you can see the floods. So we have to be ready now for a lot of new things which we have never seen before. So that is one thing we must, as educators, understand. That's number one. Number two thing I would like to talk about for the future of this conference probably is, and especially this group of people, I know these are a focused group of people in education and they'll keep meeting like this, whether here or somewhere else, is that we have to start thinking now about how sustainability education and community resilience come together. Because today all community resilience we talk about is something will happen, how are we going to take care of it? A little bit of adaptation is also people have started thinking about, but that's not the way I personally think. We will have to think of how resilience and sustainability education have to work in tandem for the transformation. We'll have to look at the transformation route. This normal thinking of reactive and reacting to things and adapting to things may not work in the future, because the way we are seeing how, and if you talk to the hardcore scientists we talk to, whether at Harvard or at NOAA or at Cornell, is that things are going to get very nasty in a few coming years. Well, the third last point I'd like to talk about is that we should also start thinking about, there's again an intersection of sustainability education and mental health. Like my past experience in the couple of years, I work very closely on the ground. Like again, I'll be traveling for next 10 days in the villages of Maharashtra. Is that the youth and the children in this country today, they're worried. They're very worried. They've started talking about issues which we really don't even think about. They're talking about mental issues. They're saying, why should we do it? Why should I even have kids? जब कुछ होना ही है नहीं है तो why should I do it? So the whole problem now is this mental health is becoming a big issue. And a lot of young people are sitting out here. I don't know how they're looking at it, but mental health and so we will have to, as sustainability educators, also have an intersection of how we are going to take it, this mental challenge taking forward. So probably these are food for thought for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dignitaries. You have actually made your points in the closing statements, and हमें झंझोड़ने के लिए बहुत था वो. So my dear friends, let's have a round of applause for the dignitaries. Thank you so much. I request you to please take a seat at the front. And now I would like to invite on the dais for the concluding remarks the foundation of Mobius Foundation. Yes, I would like to invite Chairman Sir Shri Pradeep Burman Sir to please be here on the dais with us, sir. Please welcome him with your round of claps. And also, I would like to request Shri Praveen Garg, retired IAS, he is the president of Mobius Foundation, to please come on the dais and join us. Please put your hands together for his welcome as well. So starting with the concluding remarks, I would request Chairman Sir, Pradeep Burman Sir, to please present the concluding remarks, sir. As you say, sir. Otherwise, I'll go minute by minute what I have written in me. Sir, it's by Mr. Burman.
What protocol says the junior fellow comes before. Take just a minute and take more.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shri Pradeep Burman, please put your hands together for him.
Oh, I can't see. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed dignitaries, speakers and delegates from all across the globe, the first thing I would like to say is something about Mobius Foundation. There are two main objectives of Mobius Foundation, which is coming out of foundation was for sustainability. But it cannot concentrate on so many goals, SDG goals, which are there for sustainability. So Mobius Foundation picked two goals. One was education and the other was population. I think these two are the driving forces which need to be addressed. Population has to be done on the long term because we can't see the population halved even in 50 years. So we can start wherever we can start. So it might take 50 years, but we will continue with 50 years to be able to reduce the population from 8 billion to 4 billion. That's the world population. But I hope that the Indian population to survive must go from 140 crores to 70 crores. That's what I think. Because the consumption is increasing at such a rate and the aspirations are increasing at such a rate that consumption of everything will go up and resources will not be there unless we reduce the population to 40, half. That is what my thinking is. Maybe it's a depressive thinking, but we have to work towards solving this crisis. It's my privilege to welcome you. Oh, I brought the wrong thing. I brought my opening. I brought the opening statement, opening speech. Nevertheless, I will shorten my speech since I don't have a prepared speech. Well, what is lost in this particular case cannot be retrieved. So, no, just leave it alone. Just leave things. It's better that I be short. Okay? So I'm really seen the progress from 2019, what the conference was about, what the population was about, not the population, I mean what the dignitaries were about, what the speakers were about, what the panels were about, and we had 15 sessions, 15 parallel sessions at that time. And I see the progress today is much, much more on addressing the questions which are supposed to be addressed. Mobius itself has also gone a long way, but I'm glad to see a much more, let's say, eminent or people knowledgeable and who are ready to do something about sustainability and who are ready to inspire people to do something about sustainability. That is what sustainability is about, inspiration. Now, there are two things I've put on this thing. We are talking about transformation because of the condition that we are in, that we have to transform. No, it's okay, it's too late. No, it's too late. I just have 3 points to make. All the others are blah, blah, blah. We have a transformation to make. The transformation, the way for transformation is to tackle the youth. That is the first point that I want to make, is the youth have to be transformed. Then only we can have transformation. Now, the future belongs to the youth. So youth have to be pushed in the education field to do something, and they will do something because they have the energy to do something. We are going to do blah, blah, blah. And we have done blah, 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 and the children will blame us. Okay, look, while you were around and you knew this was going on and you just said blah, blah, blah. Only person who did anything was Greta Thunberg. This is Friday for quit and concentrate on what is facing us tomorrow. Friday is for freedom, Friday is for free, Friday no school. That is what she did, and she inspired 1 million people for that. Second thing I would like to say is that we have to address the schools through, address the youth through schools. Now, schools, how are we going to teach in schools? All this again is blah, blah, blah. Because in schools you have to have experiential learning. Experiential learnings that the children have got to feel what sustainability is. They've got to understand what renewable energy is by having a solar within the campus. They've got to understand what waste is, how waste can be converted into wealth, how waste can be converted into campus. They have to have that in the campus. They cannot teach it in the books only. That is very important, and that is one thing
which I appreciate that the climate reality project is doing what Adit Pandit was doing. He's got a green campus and he's got a what do you call a project, a thing which he can plant on the school, which will have solar, waste, water harvesting. Water harvesting has to be in the school because water is the most important resource that we have and we are going to miss. Nobody really talks about it. But water is the most important resource we cannot live without. And of course we have the waterman here who is doing something about it, but we can see the problem in Gurgaon, we can see the problem coming up in India, but the treatment plants are still not working in Delhi. The Jamuna is still being pushed by sewage, untreated sewage, because the sewage plants are not working. And we see it, and everybody is saying it. The next war is on water. And we have to have water harvesting in the schools. We have to have that. So from waste management is important in the schools because waste is what is going into the ocean. Waste is what is causing all this problem. Forget about the carbon dioxide. They can't do anything about carbon dioxide. The government has to do something. That is the administration's job. But in schools is where we will put into their heads by experiential learning. They will learn about solar by doing solar. They will learn about wind by doing wind, and they will learn about gobar gas. That is a big potential, which also I find very few people talking about. India has the maximum number of cows in the world. If we can convert cow dung into energy, and cow dung as a byproduct, we produce fertilizers. We don't need chemical fertilizers which are destroying the soil. We don't need it. There's enough cow dung around. The third thing I want to say is the change has got to come from within. That we have to challenge the minds of the youth. And I think in one of the sessions it was said the change must come from within. I think it was you. Whatever it is, that stuck in my head, and I said how important that is. We can look at geography, we can look at history, we can look at oceans, and we can look at sustainability, but the change, where will it come from? First the mind has to change, then everything else will change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. You have very nicely mentioned, and yes, it's true that be the person you want, be the person who can change the world in a way that you want to see the world, right? So, जो भी चीज़ शुरुआत होती है वो हमारे खुद से ही होती है. Sir has rightly mentioned that. Now, please join me in welcoming the President of Mobius Foundation, Shri Praveen Garg. Please put your hands together for him.
A very good evening to everyone, ladies and gentlemen. I think I am going to deliver one of the shortest speeches which I have ever done in my whole career or life. So, this 2 days conference was wonderful, amazing. We had the best of the speakers, and most of us were enlightened. And as in Buddhist saying, they say once you are enlightened, you go silent. So I'll just say a few things that, each one of us, no matter what our role of influence is, has the ability to lead by example. So my first point is set the example. Of course, we can talk, we can deliver for hours together, but setting the example is the first thing. We have to set the example at the individual level, at the community level, at the institutional level. So setting the example for sustainability in our personal life, in our institution, in our society, in our family. That is the first point. And I must assure you that each of us has the power to set an example, to embody the change we want to see the world. It's not, we should not procrastinate, say that tomorrow we'll do it. We can do it now, today. And as again they say, now only, here and now. So we can do that. And I'll only recommend that to a simple solution, that you make a list of 10 small, big, medium, green deeds as your list. Keep that list with you. It can be very small, it can be some small deed, but follow that deed, that list of 10 every day, instead of, doing something else. Suppose I say that I'll go to the office by bicycle, of course, India is not so safe but for the bicyclists, whereas on the western side, they have the first right to cross a road. So if I say I'll go to the office by bicycle, that's one small step. If I say that, as somebody was mentioning, I'll not use shower beyond a point, my bathing would be little less. So just decide yourself, you're the best judge. Which are those 10 small deeds, green deeds, which you want to follow every day. And I must assure you, that will make a lot of difference, what we are talking about in the sphere of sustainability. It's going to be really make a difference, and every drop will make an ocean. And I would only say that this conference has inspired us. We should become inspiration to others by setting the example. And it's a time to act, and probably time for the dinner also. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot. And yes, very correctly mentioned by the dignitaries over here as well, and all the thought leaders whom we have been listening since yesterday, that change starts from within. When we are saying about the transformation, so yes, it's a long-term process, but yes, we have to start it right now because it's a behavioral thing. So I can only say on behalf of Mobius Foundation कि अभी ना पूछो कि मंजिल कहाँ है, अभी ना पूछो कि मंजिल कहाँ है, अभी तो बस चलने का इरादा ही किया है, ना हारे हैं ना हारेंगे कभी, ये किसी और से नहीं, हमने खुद से वादा किया है. And when we make a promise to ourselves, we all are going to sustain it, because sustainability itself says that you have the ability to sustain it. So thank you so much, dignitaries. I request you to please take your seats at the front. I would now like to invite Dr. Rajendra Singh over here for his address. Or if you would like to remain over here, you're most welcome. Sir, here is an address from Dr. Rajendra Singh. So I would like to invite him for his address. Sir. Sir is here, sir. And he is the chief guest of this closing ceremony, Dr. Rajendra Singh, Legacy Awardee, Waterman of India, and Chairman, People's World Commission on Drought and Flood. Please put your hands together for him. Welcome, sir.
थोड़े से लोग हैं जिनको मेरी हिंदी शायद समझ में नहीं आएगी. मैं गुजारिश करूंगा कि उनको मेरी हिंदी अंग्रेजी में समझा दें, क्योंकि मैं अपने दिल की बात हिंदी में ही रख सकता हूं और मुझे दिल से बोलना है. मैं मूवीज फाउंडेशन को बधाई देता हूं कि इनके सपने और इनके जज्बे अभी भी बरकरार हैं और ये सोच रहे हैं कि ये जो दुनिया में क्लाइमेटिक इमरजेंसी है, इस इमरजेंसी को हम बातचीत करके समाधान ढूंढ लेंगे। पर बातों से समाधान होता नहीं है, समाधान तो करने से होता है। और करना कल नहीं, आज करे सो अब, पल में परलय होएगी, बहुर करेगा कब। ये जो बढ़ती बाढ़ और बढ़ता सुखाड़, इसको भारत के वेदों में प्रलय कहा है। और ये प्रलय क्लाइमेटिक इमरजेंसी के कारण है। दोस्तों, मैंने 2 दिन अपनी जिंदगी में, मेरे बहुत कम सम्मेलन ऐसे हुए हैं जब मैं ओपनिंग से लेकर क्लोजिंग सेरेमनी तक किसी सम्मेलन में बैठा हूं। सो दिस इज द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कन्वेंशन फॉर माय लाइफ। और मुझे इस सम्मेलन की बातें सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है, पर जितना अच्छा लगता है उतनी ही अंदर से कौफ्त होती है कि ये इतनी इतनी अच्छी बातें कर रहे हैं, बड़ी ऊंची ऊंची बातें कर रहे हैं, तो ये जब कर रहे हैं बातें, तो ये करते क्यों नहीं है काम? इन बातों से कोई कुछ होगा नहीं। दोस्तों, मैं एक छोटी सी घटना बताता हूं। पिछले साल 2023 में 23 मार्च को हम न्यूयॉर्क में थे, यूएन हेडक्वार्टर पर। हमने कहा यार ये बड़ी, और वो सेकंड कन्वेंशन ऑन वाटर था, बहुत 47 साल के बाद हुआ था, पूरी दुनिया के सब लोग मौजूद थे। मैंने कहा यार ये सब बातें कर रहे हैं और पानी की बातें कर रहे हैं अपने लिए, हमें पानी मिल जाए। ये ना नदी की पानी की बात कर रहे हैं, ना पेड़ पौधों की बात कर रहे हैं, ना धरती के लिए बात कर रहे हैं, ना समुद्र के लिए कर रहे हैं। सब अपने डिस्प्यूट को सारी कंट्री गा रही हैं। तो हम 52 लोग थे भारत के। हमने कहा यार थोड़ा बाहर चलते हैं इस दरवाजे से निकल के, और हम लोग एक नारा लगाते हैं इसके अंदर। और नारा था नीर नारी नदी। ये मैंने बोला, और मेरे साथ जो 52 लोग थे उन्होंने 4 बार कहा नारायण 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 नारायण। अब ये नारा सुन के उनकी जो इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी होती है, उन्होंने सबने हमें घेर लिया इतने ही नारे में। तो उन्होंने पूछा क्या कर रहे हो आप? मैंने कहा भाई हम ये कह रहे हैं कि ये जो नीर है, पानी है, इसको पीस चाहिए, शांति चाहिए। और तुम यहां जो बातें कर रहे हो वो तो लड़ाई की कर रहे हो कि मेरा उस देश ने उतना फ्लो रोक लिया, मेरा उस देश ने रोक लिया। ये पानी लड़ाने वाला काम नहीं है। तो उन्होंने कहा कि आप यहां नारे मत लगाइए, ये साइलेंस इलाका है, नॉन वॉइस इलाका है, यहां नारे नहीं लगते हैं। मैंने कहा हम नारे नहीं लगा रहे, हम तो केवल बात कह रहे हैं। भारत में इसको भगवान कहते हैं, तो मैं तो अपने भगवान को याद कर रहा हूं। उन्होंने कहा नहीं, यहां भगवान भी याद नहीं कर सकते। अच्छा भाई, नहीं कर सकते, तो हमने कहा भाई हम यहीं बैठ जाते हैं। तो हम लोग बैठे। उन्होंने कहा बैठिए भी मत, आपको उठा लेंगे यहां से। तो हमने कहा यार अब जिसको हम अपनी बात कह दें उससे बात करवा दो। यू मेरिकल, वो जो जनरल सेक्रेटरी होता है ना इनका, वो कितने दिन लगाता है मिलने में, और उसने हमें मिलने में 10 मिनट लगाई, आ गया। तो हमने कहा भाई हमें कुछ नहीं चाहिए, ये पानी की लड़ाई बंद करो, ये कुछ शांति की बात करो। तो उसने 2 मिनट नहीं लगाया, उसने कहा यस द नेक्स्ट ईयर ये जो वर्ल्ड वाटर डे मनाते हैं ना, आप जानते हैं ना, उन्होंने कहा वो वर्ल्ड वाटर डे हमारा वाटर पीस डे होगा। मैंने कहा डे नहीं चाहिए इसमें, तुम्हारे रोज डे डिक्लेयर होते रहते हैं यूएन के, आज ये डे आज वो डे, इसमें कुछ काम चाहिए। और ये जो लड़ाइयां हो रही है पानी की, जरा इनको पानी की लड़ाई कहो। जब सीरिया में लड़ाई होती है तो तुम कहते हो शिया सुन्नी लड़ रहे हैं, जब इजराइल और पैलेस्टीन में लड़ाई होती है तो कहते हो जूइज लड़ रहे हैं और इस्लामिक लड़ रहे हैं। ऐसे मत कहो, जो लड़ाई पानी की है उसकी पानी को कहो। दोस्तों, मैं इतना ही कहना चाहता हूं कि आप इस वक्त पूरी दुनिया में ये जो पॉपुलेशन बढ़ रही है ना, इस पॉपुलेशन को बढ़ते हुए रोकना है तो लोगों का मन, मस्तिष्क जब इस पानी और प्रकृति के प्रति केवल प्यार करने लगेगा तो ये पॉपुलेशन रुकनी शुरू हो जाएगी। अभी एक आदमी एक औरत से प्यार करता है, जब ये आदमी औरत का प्यार थोड़ा कम हो जाए और वो आदमी और औरत का दोनों का प्यार प्रकृति और पानी से लग जाए तो ये जो पॉपुलेशन का मामला है ये ठीक ठिकाने पे आ जाएगा। और फिर हमारी एजुकेशन भी ठीक हो जाएगी, फिर हमारी एजुकेशन में भी सस्टेनेबिलिटी आ जाएगी। दोस्तों, मैं बस आपसे 2 मिनट ले रहा हूं, मैं अपना जल्दी खत्म करता हूं, ज्यादा समय नहीं लेता, पर मुझे 2 बातें और कहनी है। हिंदुस्तान के ज्ञान तंत्र में, इंडिजिनस नॉलेज सिस्टम में और इंडियन विजडम में हमेशा जब भी प्रलय का काल आया तब उन्होंने कभी कंट्रोल करने की टेक्नोलॉजी और इंजीनियरिंग और साइंस को यूज नहीं किया। उन्होंने उस परिस्थिति को अडेप्टेशन से रिजॉल्व किया, सॉल्व किया। रामायण में तुम सीता का जन्म का अध्याय पढ़ो, सुखाड़ आ जाता है। वहां की प्रजा जनक को कहती है, राजन आप अपनी महारानी को प्यार करते हो और महल से निकलना आपने बंद कर दिया है, इसलिए इंद्र देवता नाराज हो गया है। आप केवल अपनी महारानी के प्यार में डूबे रहते हैं और आप तो राजन हैं, आपको तो पेड़ पौधे, जीव जंतु, धरती, प्रकृति सबको प्यार करना है। तो उन्होंने कहा, भाई इतना नाराज क्यों हो रहे हो? वो था सही में लोकतांत्रिक। आज तो नाम का लोकतंत्र है। तुम में से कितने लोग हो जो प्रधानमंत्री को जाके बता दो कि ये बाढ़ और सुखाड़ क्यों आ रही है क्या कुछ बैठे हुए? वो राजा जनक का जमाना था कि राजा जनक ने प्रजा से पूछा कि तुम बताओ मैं क्या करूं। उन्होंने कहा, तुम महल छोड़ के रानी के साथ बाहर आ जा और हल चलाओ। राजा और रानी दोनों ने मिलकर सर हल चलाया और दोनों का जो स्वेटिंग था, जो पसीना था, वो पसीना जब सूखी मिट्टी में पड़ा तो उसके अंदर जो भी सीड्स थे वो जर्मिनेट हुए और उससे हरियाली बढ़ी और उसमें से इंद्र ने अपनी गलती मानते हुए फिर बारिश को ले आया। तो ये घटना है त्रेता काल की। एक घटना और सुनाता हूं द्वापर की। मथुरा में कंस नाम का एक बड़ा दुष्ट राजा था। वो राजा जनक जैसा नहीं था, दुष्ट, और वो सारा घी दूध सब कुछ मथुरा में मंगा लेता था। इंद्र जो था वो फिर वैसा ही नाराज उस पर। लेकिन इंद्र को यह समझ में नहीं आई कि जो तू कर रहा है उससे वहां की प्रजा को भी कष्ट होगा। इंद्र ने क्या किया, बे ऑफ बंगाल से आने वाले बादल और अरेबियन सी से आने वाले बादल, उन दोनों को आपस में टकरा दिया और इतनी भयानक बाढ़ आई कि गोवर्धन पर्वत डूबने लगा। पुराण में तो बड़ी अतिशयोक्ति से लिखी जाती है, झूठी बात भी होती है उसमें लिखा है कि कृष्ण ने कन्नी उंगली पर पहाड़ उठाया। देखो, कृष्ण ऐसा बुरा नहीं करता, वो धरती और पर्वत को कभी अलग नहीं करता। उसको हम भगवान इसीलिए कहते हैं कि वो प्रकृति को प्यार करता है, यमुना को प्यार करता है, नदी को प्यार करता है। पुराण में यह बात बिल्कुल गलत लिखी है कि कृष्ण ने गोवर्धन को कन्नी पे उठाया। ये नहीं किया उसने क्या किया, सब गायों को और ग्वालों को कहा कि गोवर्धन पर्वत पे चले जाओ। एक भी गाय नहीं मरी, एक भी ग्वाला नहीं मरा। तो आप इससे समझ सकते हैं सर, ये जो क्लाइमेटिक इमरजेंसी है, इसको यदि ठीक करना है तो हमें अपने बिहेवियरल चेंज करना होगा, हमारा लाइफ स्टाइल बदलना होगा, हमें इस प्रकृति के साथ प्यार करना होगा। जिस दिन इस प्रकृति पर हमारा प्यार होगा, हमें विश्वास हो जाएगा, हमें रास्ता दिखने लगेगा कि किस रास्ते पर चलकर हम सस्टेनेबल वर्ल्ड बना सकते हैं। दोस्तों, हम जिसको भगवान कहते हैं ना, वो हमारी विद्या से आया है। और भगवान आप सब जानते हैं, जब तक हम भगवान जानते थे तभी तक हम दुनिया के गुरु थे। वी आर रियली ग्लोबल टीचर। पर ग्लोबल टीचर हम तब तक थे जब तक हम अपने भगवान को पहचानते थे। हमारा भगवान है बै से भूमि, गै से गगन, वैसे वायु, अ से अग्नि और न से नीर, भै गे वे आ न। ये जो पंच महाभूत है, ये हमारा भगवान है। इसको भगवान मान के आज यदि ये हाउस जो आपने इतने दूर दूर से सब लोगों को बुलाया है, जरा इनको कह दो कि उस भगवान से मिल लो जाके, तो ये क्लाइमेटिक इमरजेंसी ठीक हो सकती है और ये सस्टेनेबल एजुकेशन सिस्टम भी ठीक हो सकता है और ये पॉपुलेशन भी कंट्रोल हो।
धरती को मानना होगा तब तो होगा ना।
मैं वही तो कह,
आसमान में थोड़ी आ जाए।
मैं तो वही कह रहा हूँ।
आपको समझ गए, सब आपको समझ गए।
चलिए, थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू। आप सबको धन्यवाद, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन।
Sir, please be on the stage. Please have your seat on the stage. Thank you so much, sir. And now I would like to request Dr. Ram Bhuj to please come on the stage for the vote of thanks. Please put your hands together for him.
हमारे जल पुरुष ने तो पूरा आप में जोश भर दिया, रियली इलेक्ट्रिक। मेरे में शायद उतना जोश बचा नहीं है 2 दिन की मेहनत के बाद, बट आई हैव टू परफॉर्म माई ड्यूटी टू propose a vote of thanks to all of you, and specifically हमारे जो चीफ गेस्ट हैं जल पुरुष। मुझे याद आता है प्रकृति और पुरुष का जो our guest of honor Mr. Hem Pandey also referred to this kind of interrelationship between human beings and the nature, the environment. You very rightly said all the problems of the world, Rajendra ji also, and many of the speakers, that thread of sustainability lies in this kind of the web, which is the web of life, and that thread, I think that is the basis of sustainability. I am not going to speak much. I think you can, somebody gave me Eating of the Earth, today's Times of India's editorial, which says killing elephants to feed humans tells us many fundamental things about our species. Namibia and Zimbabwe, they are killing elephants to feed the people. That's one scenario. This has happened in many countries. So to what level this is happening now? Rajendra ji and many of us talked about climate emergency. And many countries have declared emergency as well. But countries, we have been through so many COPs. Hem Pandey ji has very successfully organized very big mega events. I have been fortunate enough to be with him in mega COP in Hyderabad. That was the India showcase to the world. Prakriti rakshayati rakshate. Nature protects if it is protected. Kartik bhai, I am so thankful to you that I think you are living the living and eating sustainability. I can't say the words. It's not coming out, but my feeling is that many of the people who are here with us, Jadov Payeng, Rajendra Bhai, Harsh Gupta Sahab, Sodi ji, our very, very dear friend Beno Bor, he was also throughout. We have a relationship for past 25 years. He's one within the UN system. He goes beyond some of the UN protocols. So grateful to Beno, to many of the stalwarts of sustainability. But I will fail my duty. I have given a long list to acknowledge, but I think my apologies if I can't take many names, but yes, Mr. Berman, Mr. Garg, Dr. Aditya Joshi, and entire Mobius team. I think put your hands together to this. Wonder, why don't you just stand up, all the Mobius? Just see at the back, many are still working. And especially the ICSE Secretariat, you will be very surprised to know that it's a very small team. 3 people, Mr. Shravan Kumar, Dr. Bhagyashri, and Ms. Palak Deep Kaur. They were on my right, left, and everywhere, these 3. Thank you so much, my very, very dear friends and colleagues. A media team, I must not forget, Nidhi Singh, and logistics, many of the travel that was managed, it was Vijeta and Bhagyashri. HR support team, Mr. Karnatak, Mr. Prakash, Ankur, very long list. I think I can't go through every. The one last thing I would like to say, the most of the arrangement that you see here was, we were helped by Alpcard, this event management team, because it was not possible without them. And last but not the least, media team which was throughout with us, including ETV. I can't remember the names, but they have been so helpful. I think please give them a big applause. And finally, our very dear host, who has been throughout 2 days, and she managed so efficiently. Bhavana Shilpa, you can come in front. And I will request Mr. Pradeep Burman, Chairman, Mobius Foundation, to felicitate Shilpa, Bhavana Shilpa.
Thank you so much. I would just like to mention here, like today I'm so much fortunate that my guru, mentor and guide, Shri Siddhant Sahib Ji is also here. So Sahib Ji, I request you to please come on the stage. It will be my honor to receive the award alongside you, please.
So the time is for celebration. There is a dinner with cocktails, and join us. I am now happy with happy ending, and see you somewhere, and maybe next year, if climate emergency is tackled through our action, joint action, we will be here with the blessings of Mr.
Where are we going to have the dinner?
It's the Silver Oak Patio, just here. I think you can open this and they can go this side. Yeah, this will be open and you can just pass to the area. It's very close by.
So I'll just say a thank you to the audience, sir. Thank you so much, sir, and thank you to the lovely audience for being here. I request the Mobius Foundation employees to please come on the stage for a group photograph, and I request all of you to please. Dr. Prabjot Sodhi, I request you, sir, to please come on the stage. Dr. Prabjot Sodhi. So, sir, here is a felicitation for you.
Mobius employees, please come on the stage for a joint photograph.
With this, thank you so much. This is Shilpa Bhavna, signs off. Thanks a lot. Jai Hind.